Universal health care is fundamental to a socialist organization like DSA that aims to lay the groundwork for a socialist workers' party that can challenge capitalism. It strengthens the capacity of the working class to organize against capital by providing independence from the employing class, and it eliminates the capitalist health insurance industry, which acts as a gatekeeper in receiving care. It is a material benefit for the working class also, and is simply essential for class struggle, but also for solidarity with each other. The New York Health Act puts pressure on, starting in our state, to be the change of landscape that our fight for federal Medicare for All has been needing. The DSA, Democratic Socialist of America, is an independent, member-driven, socialist organization run by dues as a union is. We can take a different approach to organizing. We don't just pressure politicians directly. We must change the conditions for them by having people withhold their support of them. We do deep community organizing through knocking doors, connecting with other membership organizations, and connecting our demands and events to our explicitly politicized organization. We are not just in Albany to make new laws, but to build working class power and pass a tax on the key industries of capital. We do not rely on legislators to do the right thing. We build mass movements that give them no choice. We cut our walking turf for canvases right up to their doorsteps. Last session's refusal to vote on NYHA, New York Health Act, despite it having majority support to pass, simply cannot happen again. Right now, our project is to get our neighbors to publicly pledge to only financially support single payer like Medicare for All and New York Health Act champions in their elected positions. We are also gathering memos of support and commitments from unions. So, every door we knock, we go through this process, introduce ourselves, introduce the issues, inoculate the person we're talking to against ruling class propaganda, share our vision for a better world, and then make a concrete ask. That's called our canvassing ramp, and here's how it goes.
Introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Jenna. I'm out knocking doors today to talk about universal health care. Have you heard about the New York Health Act? The New York Health Act would introduce single-payer health care in New York, essentially a statewide Medicare for all. If the person you're speaking with is not familiar with the New York Health Act, describe that it is a single, public, universal health care system for all who live and work in our state that is free to use. Issues. Ask them about their experiences with health care. Have they had to make sacrifices to pay their health care bills? Have they had to go without health care for financial reasons? If they like the idea, ask why they're a supporter. If they're skeptical or dismissive, dive more into inoculation. Inoculation. Show them the class conflict between the working class and the ruling class of health insurers. Share with them that for-profit insurance companies make billions, while regular people struggle to afford coverage. We're going to have to commit to fighting them. Even locally, Blue Cross Blue Shield is wealthy enough to buy naming rights to the Bill Stadium. Do you think these companies are going to let us move to a single-payer system without a fight? They are getting rich. The insurance industry is going to spend hundreds of millions to fight this. The New York legislature refused to bring this bill to a vote in the last session, even though for the first time it had the votes to pass in both the state assembly and the Senate. We can't let that happen again. Vision. Show them a better world. Healthcare is a right, and we need a mass movement of people like you who are willing to stand against the billionaire class. Senator Sean Ryan has not yet committed to getting this legislation out of committee and voting yes by co-sponsoring. Senator Tim Kennedy and Assembly members Pat Burke, Crystal Peoples-Stokes, and John Rivera have all co-sponsored the legislation, but they haven't fought to make it happen. They'll be in session from January to June, and our vision is to have individuals and unions come out in statements of support, or even better, a pledge saying, if you don't support single payer, you don't have my back and I won't donate to you. Or even, my union won't authorize independent expenditures to you. Our only option is to build a mass movement of pressure to give them no choice. Ask. Make the asks. 1. Sign the pledge sheet. We are collecting pledges from people who want to send the message that they refuse to support politicians who don't champion universal health care. You can make the pledge at bit.ly/NYHealthAct716pledge, or by signing, we will enter your pledge today. 2. Make the demand. Let's flood their offices with our support and show them we're paying attention. Find the Action Network contact form for your legislator at bit.ly/NYHealthAct716. 3. Want to volunteer? Ask them if they could come out canvassing this fall and winter and have them check the box if so. 4. Interested in DSA? If they express interest in DSA or socialism, have them check the box on the clipboard sheet to be added to our email list.
Some helpful tips. When you run into challenging conversations while canvassing, here are some helpful approaches. Keep these 3 keys in mind. Number 1, clarity. We want a single public program with comprehensive coverage for all residents that is free at the point of service. Nothing less will do. Number 2, naming the enemy. We point the finger squarely at the ruling class. We say it's time to abolish the profit motive in healthcare and to move towards a truly social system of healthcare. They're the ones stopping it to protect their bottom lines. Number 3, mass politics. Single-payer healthcare can help us build a strong working-class base for DSA if we can get people to think differently about what they demand from their society through person-to-person organizing. Learn to affirm, answer, and redirect. Number 1, affirm. Let them know you're listening, you understand, and their feelings are valid. Don't get mad at them. It's mostly the fault of wealthy interests, which have been promoting a toxic individualist ideology for decades. Number 2, answer. Give a truthful, concise answer to the question. Don't be evasive. If there's a grain of truth to the message, say that up front. If you don't know the answer, don't guess. Tell them where they could find the answer and make a note. If they are willing to give their contact information, you could answer in your follow-up email. Number 3, redirect. But once you've answered the question, don't get bogged down in too much back and forth about it. Instead, be ready with a question that brings the conversation back to your message and points out how it is useful to wealthy interests that they are distracted. Remind them of their issues if they've shared, and that we are making a plan to win, just as social programs have been won before. There are many examples of these in the canvassing packet you have been emailed and you will receive on your clipboard, but let's go through one as an example. I can't afford to pay more in taxes. Number 1, affirm. I understand your concern. Healthcare costs in this country are among the highest in the world for working class Americans. Number 2, answer. It's important to remember that we are not creating new money. Rather, we're shifting money that already exists from a profit-driven insurance industry to one controlled by the people. 90% of New Yorkers will pay less in taxes than they do now and have no health insurance fees like deductibles, premiums, and copays. Number 3, redirect. The only people who will pay more are the richest New Yorkers, who should have the burden of paying for health care of all New Yorkers. The special interest groups want us to be divided so that we don't achieve transformative change. The New York Health Act is in the interests of all New Yorkers.